I'm recording this meeting. All right. Reliability and factor analysis. Now, introduction. In most population studies, as somebody mentioned just now, is going to use questionnaire. It's only instrument that connects.
尤其不能去什么高风险地区，你说像那种国外肯定算高风险地区吧？我们国内一个人的疫情都得算高风险地区，对不对？几个人的？像马来西亚不算高风险地区吗？不能。
talking. Okay. All right. Most population study like quality of life, right? All this people use questionnaire. The questionnaire is only instrument connecting you and the researcher and the respondent, sorry. Let's say we have in a sample, your 100 patients, 100 respondents. So you send a questionnaire to 100 respondents, maybe via WhatsApp group, Google form, it's a Google form, and then send to them. You're not there face to face with the respondents. So must make sure the tool, if the tool is not valid, then the finding won't be useful. Example, measuring quality of life. There are so many instruments there. Is it good to use in the population? So constructing, testing, and validating. It's not easy, but must be done. Supposing I take a valid instrument from elsewhere, example, quality of life questionnaire, WHO, World Health Organization, QOL brief. There are 26 items there. This questionnaire has been validated in China, then use it. Supposing you would start from beginning, then you must validate. That means questionnaire, is it good to be used in your research? Right. Concept. So what's a concept? Concept is a generalized idea about something. Can be opinion, feeling, and so on. Example, quality of life. Quality of life is a concept. Thirsty. Thirsty, you want to drink something. Thirst is a concept. ITL, intention to live. Intention live, also a concept. So concepts are ideas about something. Example, idea about living. Their thoughts about their quality of life. And what they feel, right? Feel. Are they feeling thirsty? So there can be so many different concepts. So what's a concept? Idea about something you want to know, right? So example, let's say one small study, the example is determine factors associated with intention to live. Intention to live. So normally go through literature, you try to find out what are the factors associated. You form a conceptual framework, remuneration, the salary they get, the pay they get, money they get, challenging job, the job challenging, or is it mundane, same work every day? Career advancement, is it easy get promotion? Job satisfaction, are you happy with the job? Supposing you're happy with all these things, most likely you will not leave. So that's a framework I'm going to use for this particular class. There are other reasons to live. There are other reasons, burnout and other reasons can be there. But for this research, we are taking only the 4 concepts, how they connect to this. In terms of hypothesis, each line is a hypothesis. So we call it a theoretical framework because of testing hypothesis. Hypothesis 1, the higher the perceived remuneration, if you're happy with the salary, lower the intention to leave. right? When you're very happy with the salary, most likely you won't leave. I can say there's a negative relationship between remuneration and intentional leave. Same thing, next one. Perceived job challenge. Higher the perceived job challenge, lower. So it must form from this theoretical framework, you can write the hypothesis. So concepts, how are they connected? Next, concepts, conceptualization, and operationalization. Concept, so in your framework, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 concepts. So these are the concepts. Conceptualization is a definition. So in your thesis, we say perceived remuneration. You must define what's perceived remuneration based on some other literature. Go and search literature, what is perceived remuneration, challenge all this. So this is a definition. Concept, definition. Sometimes they call it operational definition. Next question is, how do you measure this? How do you measure how they feel about the salary? How they feel the job challenging, personal development, intentionally? How to measure it? So what do you want to know? What is it? And how do you measure it? Suppose you want to measure BMI. It's very easy. Take the height and weight, divide weight by height square, you already have the variable BMI. Whereas here, perceived remuneration, we have to ask several questions. So how good the instrument is? Let's say ask 4 questions to measure perceived remuneration. Question is, how good are the questions in measuring perceived, right? So better use of instrument, good accuracy. So we need to assess how good your question is from the beginning, not after collecting data, right? The tool must be accurate to measure what you intend to. So there are so many different types of validity. This class is going to cover only content validity and internal consistency, right? There are so many. We can talk for 2 days, from 9 to 5 on validation. For this class, I'm going to talk about only content and internal consistency. So now, initial items in the questionnaire. How do you measure remuneration? So these are the questions we're going to ask. Right? So that's the assignment I gave you. And you're supposed to collect data on about 30 people. We're going to do a pilot study. Have you all collected? How many, Lifeng? How many collected? Yes. Lifeng?
Yes.
How many?
Yes.
How many you collected? How many samples you collected?
4.
4.
Yeah, 4.
I say at least 30. I told you to collect at least 30, right? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So remuneration, these are questions I'm going to ask. These questions, are they reliable? Are they valid to measure remuneration? These are job challenges. Check this. And we're going to check all this. Are we asking the right questions? So these questions will be taken from various sources. Normally put the source where the question was taken from. It can be from same source or several sources. So this initial item, the questionnaire. So next, we're going to do content validity. For content validity, examines the extent to which the concepts are measured or represented by the item. So what you need to know? Questionnaire must be discriminative, meaning those who are happy and not happy, they must be able to separate, evaluate. We can find the score based on the questionnaire. They can find the score. High score means what? Low score means what? Predictive. So who will, example, intentional leave? Supposing this is a question I'm going to use, intentional leave. Some want to leave, some may not want to leave. Does it differentiate them? Later we get a score to predict the intentional leave. So these questions must have that attributes. So you're not an expert in this area. So what do? We give the questionnaire to some experts, ask them go through. They'll check whether this questionnaire is good to measure this. And then is it okay for the population? And the concepts, are they measuring? The items, are they measuring the concepts? Any new question be added or take out? And finally, the questionnaire must be as simple as possible. Don't put sophisticated questions, right? So that's content. Pilot study. So what normally we do is give the questionnaire, give this questionnaire to some expert panel, right? Maybe human resource managers. Ask them to go through these questions. Are they good measure of the concepts? Supposing all agreed. Next is pilot study. We're going to administer the questionnaire to a small group of respondents. Now we call it pilot because small group of respondents from the population. Purpose is to test for internal consistency. Internal consistency means these questions, are they interconnected? Are the questions interconnected to measure that, right? So going to measure internal consistency. So what do? You select a 30, 40 respondents, collect the data, and run the analysis. Record items that were negatively worded. Sometimes we have a negatively worded questions. You must reword them, right? So what do you look for? In reliability analysis, there are 4 things we look for. Most researchers just look at number 4 only. That's not enough. About 90% of the published articles, they talk only about Cronbach alpha. But rather go through the 3 other things to check before the 4th one. Number 1, standard deviation. So what is standard deviation? Dispersion. Example, question number 1. I give option of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 means very dissatisfied. 5 means very satisfied. If everybody answered number 5, 30 respondents all answered number 5, then standard deviation 0. That means that item is a constant. They must be removed. So standard deviation should not be 0, must be more than 0. Again, question number 1, all the respondents answer 5, that's a constant. There's no variation. Then that item must be removed. Next, inter-item correlation. You already studied correlation. Correlation, how strongly the variables are connected. It must be between, right? It must be between 0.3 and 0.9. 2 variables, correlation must be 0.3 and 0.9. Earlier in regression, we studied multicollinearity. That told you any correlation more than 0.9, there is multicollinearity between the 2 items. So less than 0.3, again we talk in regression, correlation. Less than 0.3, too small, item must be removed. More than 0.9, too high, 1 must be removed. So ideally we want this, right? Later we'll see how it's done. Corrected item total correlation, right? Supposing A1 In the construct, there are 4 items, A1, A2, A3, A4. The CITC means take A1, compare with the total of this. That means A1 versus the rest. Add all this, become one variable, check against A1, how much is the correlation? This must be more than 0.3. All these are done with SPSS. Just look for their values and interpret. Once all these are okay, then only look at Cronbach alpha. Cronbach alpha is a measure of internal consistency. The value must be at least 0.7 and above. This is like average correlation. So later in SPSS, you're going to run the analysis. We'll look for the 4 things. Right? That's an example. So this is how we do in SPSS. For the menus, choose, analyze, scale, reliability. So this will pop out. We're going to do construct by construct, enumeration, 4 items. Then click statistics. You check these 3 boxes. Correlation, scale item deleted, this item. So click these 4. And then click OK. Look at the results. That's all we need to make conclusion. Number 1, standard deviation. Right? I say number 1, look for standard deviation. So look at standard deviation for each variable. They all are more than 0. So point number 1 is okay. Point number 2, compare the correlation of each item with other items the construct. Check the highest values. Already circle all the highest values. Don't refer to the 1. 1 is onto itself. Forget about the 1. So this value means correlation between number 1 and number 2 is 0.564. This is number 3 and number 1. This is number 4 and number 1. So look at the highest value, this value. That is between 0.3 and 0.9. That's good. Next column. Okay, that's highest value. Also between these 2. Next column, between these 2. And the last column. Right. So point number 2, clear. So far, standard deviation are more than 0. The highest correlation in each column, other than 1, all inside here. Next one, point number 3. In this table, look at this column. Corrected item total correlation. This value, 0.737, means what? Number 1 versus 2, 3, 4. Variable 1, variable 2, 3, 4 add together. Variable 1 with the rest, 0.737. This is variable 2 versus rest, variable 3 versus rest, and variable 4 versus rest. So look at the minimum value. The minimum value is 0.681, which is more than 0.3. So far, point number 3 is okay. Last, look at reliability. So what is the currently practice? Researchers go straight to Cronbach alpha without checking all this. So the Cronbach alpha is more than 0.7. So now we conclude the 4 items in this construct are sufficiently adequately correlated with each other. The sufficient internal consistency. So what items now? These 4 items, they're sufficiently correlated and they're internally consistent. So they are good. Right? We go ahead in the final draft of the questionnaire. Right. Finally, we go to report this. Under enumeration, initially 4 items. Finally, 4 items, no items are dropped. Minimum CITC is 6.681 and the Cronbach alpha. This clear, the minimum value here and the Cronbach alpha. We started 4 items. All the 4 items still remain and we make the final conclusion. So report, in each questionnaire was pilot tested. So in your thesis, if you are using questionnaire, this must be done stated in chapter 3. Questionnaire development and how reliable the questionnaire is, content validity, and then reliability analysis. You must produce this table, right? Maybe initially 4 items, finally only 3 items possible, and report the whole thing. So there are 4 constructs here. Each construct, we go into fill up this table. Are we clear? Class, are you clear?
Yes.
Right.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Is it possible to test the pilot test using different software? For example, if I'm going to analyze my research using another software like Amos or Listrel, and then I'm going to conduct the pilot test using SPSS, is it possible to do that?
Yeah, possible. Any software will do. It's not only SPSS, okay? Any software can do. Am I okay?
Yes, okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, respondents. 30 respondents, is it okay? For major studies, national studies, we need at least 70 respondents. 70 respondents must be done 2 times. But for a PhD and master's, it's okay because they don't have much funds, okay to go for about 30 to 40 respondents. 30 to 40 respondents should be okay. Right? Any other questions?
So the minimum respondent for the pilot test is 30 or 70?
No, actually for large studies, they propose 70, like national study,
okay,
where maybe 1 million people we selected, right? So we understand for students it's quite expensive. So normally for PhD and masters, you select about 30 to 40 respondents. Most of the time, it's okay.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right. Because I want you to spend so much on this. Okay, open the data and let's do the analysis. All right. So now we have 33. Mine is 33 samples. All right. These are my responses. 1, 2, 3, and 4. After that, another construct. CD, JC, ITL, different constructs. So normally, do by each construct. Don't put everything inside. I know some researchers put everything inside. No. These are my questions for enumeration. Are they actually measuring what intent to measure? So just check this only. Don't put everything inside. Right? Okay. Follow the instruction. Follow the instruction given on your notes. Are you all ready?
Yes.
Brian, are you ready? Lefang, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, follow. Analyze. Scale. reliability. Analyze, scale, reliability. Open. First item box, put all the remuneration 1 to 4 are inside here. Because this item won't construct enumeration. Next, click statistics. Statistics. So check these 3 boxes. So what are the boxes? Item, descriptive item, scale item deleted. This is where the CITC will get it, and correlation. So these 3 things. That's all. Chromebook Alpha is automatically is there, default. This one we must ask. Continue. And click OK. Look at the results. The table presented in the notes. Right. Even though Chromebook Alpha come first, rather discuss this later. Standard deviations are all more than 0. We don't have to report this, at least you know what is this. And then the highest correlation for each column. Okay, this column, highest value is this. Forget about 1. 1 is onto itself. 0.705, 68, 693, 841. Okay, second condition is met. Third condition, corrected item total. The minimum value is 0.681, more than 0.3. That's good. Lastly, we look at Chromebook Alpha, 885, right? So you fill up the table. Initially 4 items. We didn't drop any items. The minimum CITC and Chromebook Alpha. So now we know these 4 items are reliably measuring remunerations. Questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Why do you write nominal, not scale, in the measurement of the variables?
Okay. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. Dama's asking why here the questionnaire, right? I put nominal. Why not change to ordinal or scale? Normally it doesn't matter, right? So if I change the scale, is the result any different? Can't copy. Okay, if I change the scales, measures to scale, can't tell here, and I run the analysis. Right? So still doesn't matter. Dama? Dama?
Yes, okay, thank you.
Right. Because we have all numerical. All the values are numerical. Don't put string variable here. Must be numerical variables here. Right. Okay. Shall we go to number 2? What's number 2? Yeah.
We cannot see the window of the SPSS.
Oh, you can't see window.
Yeah, it's like all black.
Sorry. Now can you see?
Yes,
One more
thank you so
time.
much. Yes.
Run one more time. Analyze. Scale. Reliability. I put reset first. Numerical. Inside. Statistics. Item. Scale item deleted. And correlation. That's all. Click OK. So tables. The tables. You don't have to report this, but at least go through it. people report only this, but at least you must have an understanding of internally, because called internal consistency. Okay, this okay, this okay. Finally, report this. By the final report, this and this are very important, right? Then I report this. Okay, let's do second one. The second one is on job challenge, right? Okay. So put this item, challenging job. You just set this, don't have to do again, you just set already. Continue and click OK. Class 3, see the 4 conditions. Standard deviations are all more than 0. Standard deviation are all more than 0. More than 0. The highest correlations, this is more than 0.3, more than 0.3, more than 0.3, and more than 0.3, right? Are you getting same results? Are you getting same results as mine? Class?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Last one. Corrected item total correlation. Corrected item total correlation. What's the minimum value? That's the minimum value. Is it more than 0.3? Is it more than 0.3? Class, what's the value? Hey, what's the value? Are you all there?
0.465.
Is it more than 0.3?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, I'll show you one more variation. Supposing in the correlation, is it okay? Supposing correlation, that's a value. Is it okay?
No.
Oh.
I'm checking only the highest value. Even though one value is low, doesn't matter. Only the highest value we are concerned with. One value can be low, doesn't matter, as long as the highest value is this. Right? Okay, let's report this. We started with 4, ended with 4. Your CITC minimum, 0.465. 0.465. And finally, Chromebook alpha is 0.730. All right. So the second one also okay. The 4 items are adequately measuring what intended measure. Okay, let's proceed to number 3. Remove all this. JC job satisfaction. Click OK. Okay, you look at everything and tell me whether okay or not. Are the 4 items okay? Right, we start 4 items. 4 items here. And this value was 0.448. And your Chromebook alpha 0.790. Right, so far so good. Let's go to the last one. ITL, intentionally. Click OK. I'm using wrong data. Sorry, I'm using wrong data, right? Must be the, doesn't matter, right? So follow the data. I'm using wrong data. Okay, now wait. Right. So check. Are they all okay? Right. So we have for final and the corrected item total 0.7574 and a Chromebook Alpha 856. Right. Sorry, I supposed to use the other data set. Data for pilot study. Okay. Let me show you some example where these numbers, some of the variables may not fit. Just observe this, just watch. Let's say by the numbers out here, right, for IT, for this, plug in this, let's say I take one from here and put it inside here. We know that this doesn't belong to the rest. Let's see what happens. Right, in this case, the correlation is still okay, so they remain. Let me create a variable, just observe. Okay, so I just created a dummy variable there, dummy variable. Okay, let me show you the last one. Supposing all these in one construct, what happens? Right. Supposing my dummy variable is inside the construct. So what happened to my statistics? Chromebook Alpha, is it okay? 0.834, Chromebook Alpha is good. Now look at the, what, still high. Still high, yeah? Just wait, I change again. I just want to show an example, that's all. Normal. Let me run again. Okay, look at these values now. Look at the triple X values. The highest value is less than 0.3. But look at the Chromebook Alpha. It is more than 0.7. Chromebook Alpha is still more than 0.7. But we know here, this does not fit in well. CITC, look at CITC, right? If this happens supposing this 5 here, if this happens, I know this item does not fit in well. If I delete the item, Chromebook Alpha will go up to 0.882. Currently, Chromebook Alpha is 0.795. If I blindly gone with Chromebook Alpha here, I wouldn't have noticed this, right? 0.795, you say, okay. But we know internally the question does not fit. What I do, I'll drop the item. I drop the item, run again. Right. All okay. And the minimum 3.882. Then I report this Chromebook Alpha. So don't blindly just go into the Chromebook Alpha. I'll show you one more variation. Supposing I change one value here. All right. Let's see what happens now. I do the same analysis. Okay. Let's look at the correlation. So look at the correlation between 4 and the new variable creator. So we know that anything more than 0.9 will lead to multicollinearity. But Cronbach alpha doesn't tell anything, more than 0.7, that's all. You won't capture this abnormality, which is very high, right? Even your CITC does not capture this. So we know between VAR001 and ITL4, either one must be dropped. Either one must be dropped. Let's say decided drop, decide drop this. So instead of 5 items, now only 4 items. This is clear. These items are clear indicators of the outcome. All right, what are we measuring? Right. Are we clear? So this, where do you put in your thesis? And the chapter 3, instrument. What instrument did you use? Instrument of questionnaire, what did you use? Okay, I used these instruments, these questions. Where you got it from? From various sources. Are they good indicators? First, content validity. Give it to some experts, ask and go through it. All clear? Do a pilot study. In the pilot study, you look for the 4 things. Anything not met, you make some corrections. And then show this table. This questionnaire was content validated by panel experts. And then it was pilot tested. And these are results from the pilot study. That means you know your questionnaire is reliable in measuring what intended measure. Questions?
Yes, Prof.
Yeah.
Is it possible to distribute the pilot test questionnaire at the same time? So, I mean, it's kind of difficult to, to ask the respondent to fill the questionnaire twice.
Okay, no, don't give the same respondent. It's a pilot study, 30 respondents. In the final study, don't send to the 30 respondents.
So, I mean, is it okay if the respondent in the pilot test is different from our actual sample size?
All right. Supposing in my study, I did not change anything, right? I didn't drop anything, right?
Yes.
So these 30 people can be kept for the final study. Example, final study, example, I need 100 respondents. Already taken 30 respondents in the pilot study. Supposing all are okay, no changes made to the questionnaire, then I can maintain the 30 people, add another 70 people, 10. Supposing some changes were made, right? Some questions were dropped, then the 30 cannot be used. Normally, we suggest do another pilot. This 30 cannot be used, another pilot. Any changes made in the questionnaire, you have to do another pilot. Am I okay?
Okay.
All right. That means questionnaire is not finalized yet. I can simply drop one questionnaire and go to select data from 100. But do one more pilot and reconfirm this before going for the major study. That's why major studies cost millions of ringgit. They do at least 2 pilots to confirm each pilot about sample size of 70. After PhD masters, we have done this and we found that some item will be dropped. After dropping, you pilot it again This is the final one you're going to report. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So this is a small part of a questionnaire. Use a questionnaire. Are they good enough? Right? The two things are must. Even the questionnaire is validated before, in other countries, the content validity is very important. It's very important because the translation sometimes translate forward, backward, translate, meaning we lost. Some questions which is valid in Western countries may not be valid here. Valid in Western countries may not be useful here. So always ask the local experts. Local experts. These questions, are they okay? Then you say, okay, now let's see what the respondents have to say. So take a small number of respondents and check it out. Everything went okay? Yeah, good. Supposing they need some changes, do a second pilot. Second pilot and confirm this okay. All right, so that's pilot study. Any questions? After this, you're going to go to the main study. So if the data you did collected, as I told you, you can do the analysis and finally report this table. Right? You did collect some data on the pilot study. Some of you, Dhamma, how many you collected? Dhamma?
57.
All right. So you can run. Don't put all together. Some suggest this. Put all the items together. It should not be done that way. Right? Put all together and run. Right? So they are different constructs. So it should not be done this way. Of course, Chromebook alpha will be high, but internally they belong to different constructs. So don't do this. Do construct by construct. Right? Because ITL, very small. But this is, when everything is inside, ITL does not fit in well. By separate ITL from the others, you separate ITL from other constructs, ITL alone, all right, we don't have the problem. Okay, so that's the purpose. Okay, take 10 minutes break. 10 minutes break. We are going to factor analysis. Before that, any questions? Any questions? Okay, so take 10 minutes break.